Hey everyone, in this video, we're going to talk about the reasons why people don't have life insurance. And this is going to come from recent data that was released. So Limber and the Life Foundation did a study, or I should say a survey, where they got 5,000 families, the key decision makers from 5,000 families, to answer survey questions centered around life insurance. And they do this every single year. And this year, there's data on why they don't have it. What were the top reasons listed? And we're going to use this data to kind of, have some dialogue about how you can use this in your presentation or your business, I should say. And I'm sure we can all guess. Like, if you were to take a guess, what would be the number one reason why somebody doesn't have life insurance? I'm going to show you all of them right now. The number one reason is it's too expensive. So I'm going to address all these reasons here and, some ideas on how we can use it in our presentation to effectively communicate and get people to, get off the fence about buying life insurance. Because as we're having conversations every single day with people who have interest, they filled out a form or called in, there is interest there, yet 80 to 90% of the time, they're not taking action after you talk to them. Right? 10% to 20% sales rate, even 80, 90% of the time, they're not taking action. And there's reasons for that. The first one we'll talk about is it's too expensive. Okay. Now, if we know that's the core reason why a lot of people don't buy life insurance, number one, we need to not assume that they actually know what it costs. Okay. That study also showed that people overestimated the cost by 2.5 times. So a policy that cost $200, the majority of people thought that policy cost over $500. So life insurance is perceived as something that's expensive out there. So at the very beginning of the call, somebody who has an interest, they fill out a form, they called in, you want to set the table. You want to let them know that, what you're going to do in this call. You're going to give them the pricing, right? You're going to go over the information. You're going to give them the pricing. Then they can tell you what they want to do from there. Brings down their guard a little. And then you buy some time to build up the need, build up the emotion, right? Because they think it's too expensive. It's not too expensive. And we need to take that time to build rapport, to build our competence level, to build our professionalism, and educate them and get them to feel why they need this coverage, right? So also, because they say it's too expensive, right? You should tell people that you will find something within their budget. Somewhere in your presentation, we're going to find something nice and comfortable for you that you can, fit into your budget and pay month in and month out. All right. And even mention, like, some people, I hear this on the phone sometimes, that people say, people are concerned about the price at the very beginning of a call. And some people say that they're surprised just how affordable it actually is, right? And let them know that there's a misconception out there about pricing of life insurance. So let's see if your assumptions, your perception of what life insurance costs matches to what it actually costs, and then go from there. Really knowing this, that people think it's too expensive. Right? This isn't that it's too expensive for people. It's that people think it's too expensive, and that's why they don't have life insurance. They haven't had the conversations with competent life insurance agents that can explain everything to them and give them accurate pricing and show them that it is actually affordable. Okay. But just know that the people coming into your sales conversations, they think it's a good percentage, over half of them think it's too expensive. So keep that in mind. Be sensitive to the fact that that is something that's in the back of over half of people you talk to mind about that is too expensive. And again, what is too expensive? Too expensive for their friend who told them it's, that it costs a certain amount, may be different from what you think, from what they think. So again, just need to have that conversation, but just keep that in the back of your mind that people think it's too expensive. That's the number one reason why people don't have life insurance, according to the study. Okay. The next one is other financial priority. So how do you handle that? So it's the second most common reason here, because you need to get them to reprioritize. At the basis of all this, we need to get them to make a decision they haven't made yet. They have not purchased life insurance. They've put it on the back burner their entire life. We need to get them to reprioritize this, buying life insurance. Simply just giving somebody quotes, um, without building up the need, or without building up any sort of emotions attached to it, it's just going to continue to have them choose make other financial priorities, right? Make them feel how this will affect their family. They may reprioritize based on your conversation. In fact, you have to get them to reprioritize based on your conversation with them. You need to showcase just how this would affect their family. That is how you get people to reprioritize. They have to feel something, and how it can get them to ensure their family's financial security, fitting into broader financial goals of theirs. Okay. So people think, right? This is why people don't have life insurance. They're filling out the survey. They're saying they prioritize something else over life insurance. And I get it. Life insurance is not something tangible, not something you can put your hands on. They're not going to use it. They're not going to use it. It's the feeling it brings them that they're taking care of their family. That's what they're really buying here, right? Knowing that their family's taken care of, and they're not leaving them a burden. So of course, they're not going to prioritize when people have all these different slew of life expenses, right? But we need to get them to see the bigger picture here, get them to reprioritize what's important to them. Okay, so that's the second most common reason. The third one is they're not sure how much or what type of life insurance to get. So guys, in your presentation, you have got to educate. Okay, you can't assume somebody knows what a term life insurance policy is or a final expense life insurance policy is, whatever it is you're selling them. You cannot assume that. You have to educate them here. Okay. So you want to simplify what is likely overwhelming for them. Okay. It may seem in your scripting process and educational piece, it may seem kind of monotonous, mind numbing, because you know this stuff. It's very basic. But a lot of people need to hear it in a simple way, because to them it's very complex and overwhelming. And if you educate properly, you're going to build trust, and you're going to give them clarity on what they need, and you're going to get agreement. Okay, I need this type of life insurance, and I need to get this amount of coverage. Okay, you got to give them that clarity on your calls to help them overcome how much they need or what type of life insurance they need. Okay. And a lot of people, and this might be surprising for people, people just don't buy because they don't know what type to get or how much to get. That is something simple you can help them with. And so maybe that's an eye opener for you on just how important that section of the script is. All right. Next, haven't gotten around to it. All right. So this is just simple procrastination. We talk about this a lot. Most people have gone their whole lives without life insurance, and they're about to buy it for the very first time. Why are they going to get around to it now? You have to find that out, okay? You have to figure out what prompted them to complete this form or call in, and know that there's a reason that they fill out the form or called in today. There's a reason. There's something swirling in their mind, that made them take action. So you have to dig into that. You have to figure out what prompted them to call in. And that's what you need to get them to take action. Okay. So, if they just haven't gotten around to it, it wasn't a priority, which we just talked about, but also you have to use the reason they give you on, on why they haven't purchased coverage yet. So get that from them, use that information, all right? Also, you want to create some urgency here, right? They haven't gotten around to it, so you got to get them to take action now and understand that, because if they haven't gotten around to it now, they're on the phone with you. This is the closest they've ever gotten to buying life insurance. They're on the phone with you. You have a responsibility as a life insurance agent to give them the information they need, figure out why they haven't taken action, and get them to take action, right? And that's the puzzle you're trying to put together on the call. We don't know why they haven't gotten around to it. Why now? And so focus on that piece. Did a family member pass? Did they recently experience something? Like, what is it? And hone in on that, probe on that, create some urgency around that because you have to create some urgency for them to take action. And you can also create urgency by explaining the risks of delaying coverage. It's just going to get more expensive. You may not even qualify for this in the future. If you get through a health qualification, your health isn't guaranteed to be the same tomorrow. Nobody's health is guaranteed to be the same tomorrow. These rates, you may not even qualify for this coverage tomorrow. So build some urgency there and let people know this because these are things people do not think about. To get them to overcome procrastination, you have to put those seeds in their mind like, okay, it's going to be more expensive if I wait. All right, I may not qualify. It's true. I just, had somebody diagnosed with cancer and, all that stuff may be swirling in their minds and that may get them to take action. But if you're not creating that urgency, you're not getting them to think those things, they're going to keep procrastinating and they're that haven't gotten around to it is going to keep that way, right? They're just not going to get around to it. So the next one is they don't like thinking about death. And here it's just really kind of easing emotional discomfort. So just approach life insurance with empathy and frame life insurance as a means to protect loved ones rather than focusing solely on mortality and dying, right? Your presentation should be around their family, what they're trying to protect, and the peace of mind that comes with it. Not, where a lot of, we have to talk about, if, for example, in final expense, you want to talk about, okay, burial or cremation, right? That's not something you really want to talk about. It's not and you really want to talk about what this coverage is going to do for their family and for their final wishes. Okay. So when you are, you want to emphasize peace of mind and just get them to picture that last memory that they leave behind. Just focus on that, not so much on mortality. You can touch a little bit on mortality, it's fine. But again, people are saying right here, this data is telling us that they just don't like talking about it or feeling it or anything like that. Cool. Use that information and talk about the positives of what this is going to do for them. And that it's not all about dying and mortality. It's about the memory they're leaving behind and those, that last memory they leave behind. So the next one here is not offered by their employer. This is more for, working age, term life insurance. But, you want to just emphasize that life insurance is accessible outside of employer benefits. And that's what most people do. It's a lot less expensive. It's portable. You can take it with you from job to job, right? Just showcase the flexibility of it all and the customization you can get with private policies. You can get living benefits. You can get return of premium. You can get all these different, sorts of benefits as well. So just highlight individual solutions over employer options for that one. And then proactively, the next one is no one reached out to them. So I would say proactively reach out to people. What is 11% of people who don't own life insurance say that they don't have it because nobody reached out to them? Think of all the families and 1 out of 10 of them isn't buying life insurance because nobody just asked them to. So maybe some of you will get the courage to maybe post something on social media about what you do and be proud of it. Proactively let people know what you do on social media. Use the statistic like, hey, 11% of people said they don't have life insurance because no one approached them. Well, here I am approaching you, okay? You need life insurance, call me today. What happens if you just did that once a month? I know an agent's top 10 agent at Digital BGA has a family member with a big social media presence, lots of followers, lots of engagement, and once or twice a week, they post about life insurance. Hey, here's what I do. Here's what I do. And that's how they get their leads. People want to buy from people they know. They trust you. They like you. Put it out there. Don't be afraid. Okay. That's one basic thing. Just let people know what you do because this data is telling us 11% of people who don't own life insurance, nobody approached them. Don't be that person who has some of your good friends that don't have life insurance and they get something terminal or they pass away unexpectedly. They don't have life insurance. Don't let that weigh on you. And if it doesn't weigh on you, it should weigh on you. This is what you do. If you're a life insurance agent, this is our mission to protect families. You have to protect the families around you. Put it out there in what you do. I know it's I know it seems salesy and like you're trying to do something to your friends and family, but you can't see it that way because it's not that way. You just want to make sure people are protected. And if you put it in a way that, hey, the data is showing us that over 10% of people just don't buy because nobody approached them. Even just use that. Okay. Anyway, last thing here is reason is they would not qualify for coverage. So very simple. Just clarify common misconceptions about eligibility and highlight options available for those with people with health conditions. Like, we have products to protect everyone, and you have to figure out at the beginning of a call why they're calling in now. Well, what's prompted you to look at life insurance today? You haven't got anything in place? Well, what stopped you from getting something in place before? Get those answers so that you can use it, so you can get the reason for them not having life insurance and use it. And that's not to say there's not any, so they may give you that reason. I'm not saying just focus on that sole reason. I think you should tackle every single piece on this data sheet right here on reasons why people don't have life insurance, because that just may be the main reason. There could be underlying reasons. Okay. So use this data to craft a sales approach if you're not already covering these in your presentation. Okay. You want to be empathetic. You want to be educational. You want to be solutions focused, right? Again, the thing is, we don't know the reason when we're on the phone with our prospects about why they filled out a form or called in. We don't know. So make sure you uncover that reason by finding out what's held them back from getting something in place. These are the reasons we need to cover on every presentation, even if we just touch on it a little bit, because it may bring up more questions. And if you didn't talk about difference between whole life and term life insurance, maybe they weren't so sure, and that's the reason. Even though they say it's too expensive, they could get comfortable, but they're still not sure this is the type they want to buy because you didn't go through the educational part or something along those lines, right? So address that concern and all other concerns that could be underlying. These are all the concerns. The data is here, and it reinforces kind of what we train on when selling life insurance over the phone. It makes it more real. This data kind of brings it all to life because this is feedback from key decision makers in families, over 5,000 families that took this survey. These were the reasons that they stated why they do not have life insurance. Okay. So hopefully this helps some of you. Maybe it reinforces what you're already doing and gives it a little bit more purpose because you see this data now. Or maybe you are somebody who doesn't do a couple of these things here, and you maybe skip some portions of your presentation because you don't feel that they're, effective enough, but we can't make those assumptions. Okay. There's real reasons why people don't have life insurance. They're right in front of us here, and we need to do our very best to help people overcome whatever it is that they have in their head that's holding them back from buying life insurance. Those reasons are right here. We got to cover them in our presentation. Hope this helps everyone.